What's up, everybody? And we're back on the BMW now. We're going to be doing the motor mounts. I've already took off the support brace right here. You're going to take that off. We're going to take the air box out. We're going to take the charge pipe on this side and to the throttle body off. So like I said, I've already got the crossbar on this side, and we'll set y'all up somehow. Y'all can kind of see what's going on. Like I said, we're going to take this air box off, pull this connector off, and then I'm going to take it off right here. The driver's side is actually the easiest of the two. Take the air box off. There's that piece. Now we're going to pull, get that out of the way. We're actually going to pull the box right here off, and it's just a Torx bit right here. Then it should lift out. Let's say probably like a T30. Right, now you can see how much room we got. So I'm going to pull this off, if I can get it with one hand. There we go. I'm going to pull the connector out. Come on. May have to use a pick. Behind it. There we go. And then we can pull this charge pipe off. All you do is you just lift up. You'll hear it click. Well, let me actually do that. All right. There's your clip. You can stick it back on once you get it off. I may have to set y'all down. All right. That side off. There's another piece down here. Let me get it out, and then I'll show y'all how to take this bottom piece out down here. It's a little hard to show y'all just because it is so dark. I don't know how well y'all can see down in there, but let me go ahead and take this charge pipe right here out, and then that way we can get access to the motor mount on this side. Okay, so this is the other end of it. You'll have to get something to pull back and pull this down. Hold on, let me show you how I did it. So get it, and you just pull out the sides, and then when you pull out the sides, you pull up on that metal piece, and it snaps in. It's a little bit of a pain to get out. I wish they would have done it like the upper end right here. As you can see, it's just got this big snap on there. Let's see if I can get it back on. Okay, but it's just got this big snap ring on there like that, and you can leave them in place and it'll snap right back in place on the throttle body and the intercooler. So now you can see how much room we have, and the way I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to get a jack and put it on the transmission bell housing and jack up on it to put some pressure, and then we're actually going to take this mount piece right here out and then take out this bottom one. There's 3 bolts on the bottom, and then it looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts that hold the mount that's on the engine. Alright, so here are the bottom pans, and that's all the bolts that hold it in. Well, there's probably still 3 or 4 under there, but as you can see, it's 2 gigantic pieces. But now we got access to everything. As you can see the ground down there. So what I'm going to do is climb underneath there, get a jack situated to where I want it, and then once I get that, I'll show y'all where I have it, just so I can get this mount right here out, and then we can get the lower mount out. Alright, so I went ahead and took this off too, because this is going to be the charge pipe you're going to have to remove to get to the other side. And you can see it's real tight on the passenger side, so you'll probably have to do most of it from the bottom. But to remove this, it's just these 2 squeeze clips on the sides. Squeeze those in and pull it straight down. It may be a little tight because these O-rings right here actually seal really good on these. But like I said, here is the motor mount on that side. I'm going to bring y'all underneath and show y'all where we're going to put the jack at whenever we get ready to change this. As you can see, right there is the bell housing. There's a flat piece right in front of the oil pan. We'll put a jack right there, and we're going to jack up. We're going to put a piece of wood under it first and then jack it up. That way we don't hit the plastic pan on the transmission or the engine, because you can bust those really easy. So we're going to put a piece of wood right there and then put a jack, and then we'll jack up to take some pressure off of it, and then we can pull the engine mount and the rubber mount off just to make it easier. And so everybody knows, the mount goes through the body portion or the subframe portion on this. It's hard to see, but whenever I take them out, I'll show y'all a little bit closer. It's just right here, right over there. That's one bolt right there, and then there's a third one on the opposite side over there. I know it's a little dark right there, but those come in from the bottom, and you can take those out. I think they're 13 millimeters actually, but you can take those out, and then once you take this big portion off of the engine, you can take this off pretty easy. You just lift it straight up, so that way you don't jack the engine up too much and risk crushing anything back here. Alright, so it's the next day, because we kind of ran out of daylight yesterday, and there should be a bolt right there, but I went ahead and took it out. That is an E14, I believe. Yes. Oh well, y'all can see that, but that is it right there. I just took it out to see how tight it was, but we went ahead and took that out, and I did jack the engine up just a little bit just to see how much room I have. Just when you're doing this side, be careful not to pinch anything over here. Everything is still clear as of right now. And I can't remember if I told y'all how to take this out. All you have to do is squeeze these 2 tabs right here, and then pull straight down. But like I said, these seals right here, they do seal really well on that, so you may have to put a little bit of force behind it. And right there is where we have the jack and the block of wood. Like I said, it's right on the bottom of the bell housing, right before you get to the plastic oil pan. So I just put a jack underneath there with that block, and then once we jack it up a little bit, you can see that it was lifted up just a hair. And right here is where your mount is. As you can see, it's right there. There should be 3 bolts that hold it in. Should be that one up inside of here, and then this one right there. And then whenever you unbolt it, it should lift up and out. I will see if I can go up just a hair more with it on the driver's side before I try to take this out. If I have to, I'll pull the whole engine mount out too. But let me get y'all back underneath there, up on top. I know I got y'all all weird and stuff, but We did manage to lift it up a good bit. I can actually almost feel the bolt hole now with how much I got it lifted up. But I'm going to see if I can lift it up a little bit more just to clear it. If I can, then I'll pull it out this way. If not, we'll take this mount off. It's not really much holding that mount on. There's, looks like 4 bolts that hold it on to the engine. Those are E12s. 2 on top and 2 right there. As you can see, they're down in there pretty good on some of those. But let me see what I can do, and then if I have to take it out, I'll show y'all how I take it out. So I went ahead and took the 4 bolts that hold it on off because I was afraid I was going to start crushing something. The only thing that there is there is a wiring harness attached to it, so you'll have to pop that off real quick. And there's your mount that attaches to the engine right there. Then now you can see the mount a lot better the way it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull this off. Like I said, there should be 3. I think there are 13 millimeters on the bottom. So I'm going to pull that off, and then we'll lift it up from out of here. We have the motor mount unbolted, and we can get it out of here. Come on. A little harder than it should. But there's your motor mount right there. There was 3 bolts on there. 2 of them were the same and 1 of them was different. The one that was different was the very front one. It is longer, and the back 2 actually are threaded completely, so they're all threaded bolts. So it has threads all the way down to the head. Now let me go grab the new one real quick. Here is the new one. Like I said, these are Anchor motor mounts, part number 9941, and they are the same on both sides. We will compare them just to be sure that they are the correct ones. They look identical, just this one right here doesn't look to be as compressed as the old one does. So now we're going to stick this back down in here, and we're going to put it on and torque it down. See if we can get it back down in here. Alright, there we go. Alright, just remember that the threads go, like, they point towards the engine and the side of the car. Get you a little closer, just like that. And the bolt holes are only line up one way. So let me get the torque spec on those, and then I'll bring y'all back and we'll torque them down. Alright, so when I looked up torque specs for the motor mount bolts themselves, for the 13 millimeters, they're 38 Newton meters. And then the bolts that hold it to the engine is actually 52 Newton meters. And then the bolt that attaches from the motor mount on the engine to the actual motor mount on the frame is 60 Newton meters. So we're going to put all this back on, and we're going to torque it down, and then we'll start doing the passenger side. Alright, we got the new one back in, got everything torqued down. Now we're going to go to the passenger side, and I thought we would have to take this hose out, but actually we can get to everything underneath. It is a little tight, but you can still get to it. I'm going to bring y'all underneath real quick and show y'all everything that needs to come out. I will leave this loose for now, just in case I do need to move around and try to get in through here, because like I said, it is pretty tight down in there. Alright, so here's your exhaust right here, and right up there beside it will be the main bolt that takes it off. And I'll try to get y'all where y'all can see it, but it's right up here where my finger is. I don't know how well y'all can see that little bolt right there. And if you want to, you can remove this heat shield if it makes it easier on you. There should be 1, 2, 3 Torx bits. Don't know what size they are. They're probably like T30s or T27, somewhere around there, that takes this off. But I'm going to try to do it without taking that off. But we're going to be moving the jack over here on the opposite side and jacking up on the transmission probably around here somewhere, just so we can tilt it enough to lift this up and out of the way. And if we have to, we will try to remove this mount as well, but we may have enough clearance to lift it up and move this out of the way. But you will have some movement on your exhaust, so you do have a flex pipe right here. Hopefully we have enough room to get that out of the way. Alright, so I did end up taking the whole motor mount assembly off. That was this motor mount and the one that bolts to the engine, and it goes just like that with the heat shield up, because it does sit right underneath the turbo. And these are each wells also, and that was an E14. I did manage to get this bolt that goes through the mount into the body mount out from up top. I did use a longer flexible ratchet, and I think it was a 3-inch extension, and broke it loose. And then I used my electric ratchet and pulled it the rest of the way out. But I did have to break it loose with this right here, because I could not get the engine up high enough to clear the tip of the mount, because you have to pull this out, then you have to pull the motor mount out. But I'm going to put this in. I will show me putting that in here in just a second. But like I said, these are the same mounts for both sides, and you can see which way the rubber sits, because it was sitting right there. So it goes in just like that. So you have to put this in first, then you can position that back in. It is a tight fit to get all this in there. Like, I just lifted it up just enough to clear this. You can see where I had the jack at right there. So alright, got the mount in position right now. Well, not the right position, it's just it was in position. It should go like that. Now we got to try to get this back in. Trying to hold y'all and show it all at the same time. Like I said, it was tight getting this up in here. Alright, there we go. Like I said, it's a little tight getting it back up in there. And all the bolts on this side are the same, so it doesn't matter which way or which hole you put these in. And the threads are going to be a little tight on the first start, but once you get them started, they go in pretty easy after you get past like the first 2 or 3 threads. And I would use my electric ratchet on these, but I want to make sure they go in straight. Like I said, once you get past like the first few threads, they start going a lot easier. And then you can use your electric ratchet or your air ratchet if you have one. So I'm going to grab mine real quick. really want to get one in there to start, and then whenever we lower the jack down a little bit, we can start the other ones in their correct position. This will just hold it. All right. Yep. We're going to lower down the jack a little bit just so we can get these other ones started, because they're probably, I don't know, half of a hole off. But I'm going to finish putting all these back in, and then once I finish, I'll come out and show y'all everything and show you that everything is put back together, and then I'll close out the video. Okay, as you can see, we got everything back together and everything's where it should be. Got all the hoses on, the brace bars, air box, all the connectors, and like I said, you can just leave these down in the down position and push them and they will clip on. You don't have to put them on then put the little clips in there. But that is everything for doing these motor mounts. It is a little labor intensive if you've never done any of this stuff before. I think it calls for both of them like 4 hours, 4.5 hours of labor time to do both sides. I think on the driver's side it calls for like 1.5 hours, and then on the passenger side it calls for 2.5 hours, I believe. But if you do them together, it's like 4. But like I said, with some e-Torx, jack, and a little bit of time, you can get it done. And the reason that they replaced these is because they were compressed down so much, and on the passenger side you could really see the difference because the pad was actually touching on the motor mount that attaches to the engine, where on the new one it is probably 1/2 inch from touching, so it did collapse a good bit, and the passenger side was the worst. But like I said, that's going to be it for doing the motor mounts on these. If you enjoyed the content, the video, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and until next time, y'all have a great day.